Wonderful, 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 wonderful. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining me on this beautiful, beautiful day. I hope we are all very, very well. And if you are tuning in, if you are here with me, I'm your host, Zsuzsanna Hörcsög, a medium, and I am talking to you and I'm welcoming you from this beautiful home, very warm, nice, beautiful UK right now. So I hope we are all very well. And actually, we are so very well that it actually smells and warm in here as well. So here we go. So I hope you are all very well. So today, I'd like to bring you a conversation a little bit different from what I normally talk about. You see, we always bring you something enlightening, uplifting, empowering, everything to do with our soul's journey. But then here we go. You know, our soul, our spirit lives in this physical body. So today I'd like to tell you a story. So just picture this. You know, I'm stepping into this elevator. It happened actually quite some time ago, but here we go. I'm stepping into this elevator, and you know, the one where you see only the mirrors around you. You are surrounded by yourself. You see only yourself. And in that elevator, there is another girl who is finding her place in the opposite corner. And we go to the same level. We find out we are all, and I'm noticing the circles under my eyes as well. And then I'm looking back at her, and I'm noticing the bones, just the bones on her face, on her cheek. And I'm looking back myself, and I'm seeing just the bones. Whichever mirror I'm looking at, I'm finding just the bones on my face. And I'm looking at her clothes, what she's wearing. She's a petite, very, very small, and looks very fragile, and probably wearing a size 4 or 6 top. And then that cloth is hanging off from her. And I'm looking at myself again in the mirror, and I'm just realizing that quite recently I lost so much weight that even my own clothes are hanging off from my body. And you know, the bra size changes, and you are just going petite and little and thin, regardless of being very, very fit before that. And then I'm looking at her, and then she's not really engaging anything. She doesn't want to look into the mirror. And then you see, by the time we get to the second level, we are going to the third level, we are going to the third level. And by the time we get to the second level, I'm just really, something drops. You know, the penny drops in my head that, oh my goodness me, my own GP, my own practitioner is sending me to a place where girls like that, you know, like this one is going. So the door opens, and she steps out, and she turns to the left, and then she moves that she knows where she needs to go. You know, she knows the place. And while I'm looking up and trying to find my way, you know, you read the labels and directions, and you find your way. And then I am breathing, I'm starting breathing, because I'm realizing I'm not going that way where that girl goes, because I'm going somewhere else. So 3 hours later, I'm back to the same elevator, and I know that from today, I'm not eating a whole list of a certain food I'm not eating. And I'm just trying to imagine what life will feel like when I can't eat the favorite bread, or favorite biscuits, the favorite everything, all the favorite things. And at that point, I don't really want to look into any kind of mirror around me. But then 2 or 3 weeks later, I am in the supermarket, one of the supermarkets, with a booklet in my hand, and I'm reading through the things, the aisles, what I can buy and what those things I cannot buy. And then I go through, over the coming month, I'm going through this place, this mental place, and quite a few months, what you would normally find when you are going through bereavement. You go through anger and guilt and frustration and everything. And then I'm finding myself in the supermarket late in the evenings, going and trying to find the food I can eat and the things I cannot eat. But moving forward a few years, because they say you gain your weight back and you gain your life force back. It takes you a few years, yes, and it's true. But 2 or 3 years, the body comes back, and you can start wearing the clothes you really enjoyed wearing before. And you get out of that tunnel. You see the light, and you get through. And life, you know, you learn to adjust yourself. And you learn to adjust your lifestyle regardless of all the criticism and the remarks and everything, and being called a picky eater, the one who needs to talk to the chef when you go to a restaurant, you need to read the labels, and so on and so on and so on. It takes some time, and it takes some strength to go through that place, that mental and emotional place, that you find the core so that you feel that you do not need to explain yourself anymore. So while I'm talking about this, because the other day I'm back to them, of course, we are doing our shopping. And then the things which is our eye is just a couple of these kind of boxes, the sections you find maybe at the furthest corner in the supermarket, you find where you can buy those things you can buy, and then actually you realize you do not need even those ones. But I'm going there and I'm finding even the most important things are not there, and I'm wondering why is that. And of course, there can be all various reasons, so I'm not going to talk about those. But suddenly, I'm thinking of all the families and thinking of all the children who might be or who are on summer holidays. And I'm thinking about all those mothers who have the gluten-free and then the gluten and the gluten-free children, and all the variation they have to get prepared and what it means in our everyday life. And I'm at the same time looking at all the other people who can eat all the other things. And so, you can either eat things or you can't eat things. So you learn what you can do and what you cannot do. But then so you see the real conversation, the real reason I really decided to talk about this, because if you have something, if you feel that your body is not taking certain things, your physical body is not aligned with certain things, with whatever reason, then do your best to look into. And then sometimes it just takes a few things, just literally a few things changing in your diet before you start getting better, and your weight is coming back and your life energy is coming back. And then you see your body is really supporting yourself. And what I'm saying is that, it might be your case, it might not be, it might never be your case, but maybe you have somebody in the place where you work. Maybe you are a teacher, maybe you are a social worker, maybe you are working in a shop, maybe you are working anything you do. And then you might feel that, there are those people who are the fancy eaters and the picky, the fancy picky eaters and all those people. But we need to have the understanding and we need to have the awareness that to get to that point that I can stand only on one section in my supermarket to find what I need. Otherwise, I'm walking around with a book and reading labels like no way tomorrow. I'm learning everything on any kind of label. It means that person had to go through certain things in their lives to get there, so that they are able to, with freedom, they feel that actually I'm relaxed to do my own shopping. It really took the energy literally as if you are going through bereavement, because well, I can tell you a lot of stories, but I'm not going to do that. But really my conversation is that we need to have compassion, we need to have kindness, we need to have love, we need to bring those energies forward, because the time we are going into, it's not just going to be maybe questionable or a little bit challenging for the ones who are gluten or cannot be gluten, or the gluten-free or the celiac or all those people. You need to find your support group. You need to find the way out. You need to work on yourself, and you need to keep going with your own path. But if you have a different life and then that is not your experience, then my invitation is to bring love, to bring compassion and understanding, that maybe you have a colleague who is going through something. It's just like those ones who are diabetic or all kind of different conditions we might have in our physical body, or those who go through mental health problem or questions or situations. And then those things, it takes quite a lot for people to manage and put things together so that they are carrying on with their everyday lives and they are able to move forward. And while it is really, really important that, yes, there will be changes in our lives, and then there is a lot of fear conversation out there, whether we are talking about our mental health, emotional health, or physical health, or physical being, or just existence, all those things. So we need to be very, very aware not to fall into any of those conversations if you feel that you are experiencing fear or uncertainty, especially maybe if you are freshly diagnosed that you've got something, give yourself that 5 or 10 minutes, or maybe a couple of days, or maybe a week or two, to feel desperate, but don't stay in that space, because you need to get yourself out. You need to find the people. You need to find yourself. You need to find a way. A few weeks ago, I talked to you about being flexible, being adaptable, being resourceful, being questioning, knowing what is really, really going to help you. And in whichever country you live, or whichever part of your country, or whatever your situation is, my invitation is that have compassion and love and kindness towards one and another, and most certainly towards yourself, because the time we are going through, and it's going to be even I'm not saying interesting, but it's going to happen in one way or another. And then spiritually, let's just remember that we are here on this earth plane because God's soul, spirit consciousness put us here, because we got the strength and we got the stamina to go through what we need to experience in our lifetime, in our lives. So, my lovely friends, I hope it made sense. I felt it was important to talk about. I am really enjoying everything what I'm eating and what I can sort out, because I came through the whole thing, and from that space I talk to you and share my experience. So from this place, I'm sending you lots of love and many, many blessings. Stay cool, stay hot, whatever you need to do, and see you in 7 days' time. Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye for now. Bye. Bye.